my puppies, I'm Pufflo, and welcome to my channel if you're new. If you're not, then welcome back. So today I'm discussing more in depth about some things such as quitting this YouTube channel and my mental health. Also, before you watch this video, I want to put out a trigger warning because I'll be going over what mental illness is like for me and how I cope, which I definitely don't have the best coping mechanisms. So first off, you might be thinking, oh my god, Puff, you're quitting your YouTube channel? Why would you do that? You are so funny and talented and incredibly amazing. And the answer is yes, I am. I don't like my content, and I found it pretty boring for a few months now. It was fun when I first started out, but now it's just not. This doesn't mean I'm completely leaving the YouTube platform, because I've been doing YouTube since 2015. I would never want to leave. I'm just leaving this channel, and I'm moving back to my old one, Collapsic, but you can definitely subscribe there. I will be doing actual gameplay, sometimes I'll be using my face cam, and I will be playing games such as Among Us, Sims 4, and Minecraft. But I'm mainly going to be playing Minecraft, but in all honesty, I don't really want to leave this channel. I don't think I want to leave it, but I hate everything about this channel. I am proud of how many people found my channel and all my supporters, but I'm not proud of my content itself, and I'm sorry I'm leaving. It's just not good enough for me. I don't like it. And the average view duration is like a minute. Like, I could post a 3-minute video and you guys would only watch like a minute, maybe a minute and 15 seconds, but not always. But you guys support me a lot and I love you all so incredibly much, but my content is just so boring. I just feel like it's time I should be finished with this channel. I should be done with it. I'm not quite finished with this channel even though I've already completed it. That doesn't even make any sense, but that's just how I feel. No matter how divergent one of my new channels would be compared to an old one, I always end up really unmotivated. I always end up in the same spot I am now. And now we'll be going over my mental health. Woo! So exciting. So first off, I know I deleted my face reveal video. A lot of you probably didn't even see it. I had it up for almost a full 24 hours, but then I deleted it. I did this because of maybe a lot more insecure about myself than I really was before, which I didn't know that was actually possible. I deal with a lot of dysmorphia and I don't like myself. I'm like I said in my last video, I'm not saying this so you guys have pity for me or so you would be empathetic. I'm saying it so you guys understand. I'm also not romanticizing mental illness because that's disgusting and anybody who does it is a horrible person. So on my last video I went over on some ways how I cope with my mental health. I didn't really go into depth, so I'm going to now. But because of my dysmorphia, it caused me to eat a lot less. My standards for myself started getting a lot higher and higher throughout the time, which made me believe that everything I do isn't good enough. Since everything I do isn't good enough, then maybe it's not what I'm doing and it's just me in general. You know, like I sit here thinking, what if it's me as a person? What if I'm not good enough? But people still support me and compliment me a lot, but I don't know about you, but I tend to doubt them. What if they're lying to me and they just say these things to seem nice? You know, what if they just feel bad for me, so they tell me these things that aren't true to make me feel better about myself? I don't think I deserve all of these things. I don't think I deserve all of this support. Oh my god, I'm really shaking right now. Any sort of improvement I may be making with anything is not good enough for me, and I could always do better, so I should just push myself to do better, but I never really do. I hardly make any sort of difference, so maybe I just don't deserve it. I don't deserve anything. What if I don't have anything? Then I won't fail, you know? Then I don't know, but my standards would be still high, wouldn't they? I honestly don't really know anymore. I just wish I was in control of something. I can't fix these things if they spin out of control, you know? But you know what I can't control? My eating habits. But dealing with depression also makes me a lot less hungry. I also teach myself to not be hungry. Like, sometimes I get so hungry that eventually I can't even feel the physical pain, wow, okay. Sometimes I get so hungry that eventually I just can't even feel the physical pain it brings me anymore. But if you find yourself dealing with eating disorders such as anorexia or bulimia, I know you can get through this, and I'm proud of you for noticing and bringing your attention to it. If you're just starting to get into these habits, please try eating more before it gets too hard. Like, please, please, please. Like, you don't want it to get too bad because it's physically and mentally exhausting because you get so tired, you're cold all the time, your body eats itself, and you can start having seizures, your hair starts falling out, and you can die. Eating disorders are the most deadly mental illness, and it's terrible to deal with. If I find myself eating more than I want to, I tend to deal with it through self-harm. one of my aunts recently got me this scar stuff where you put on your scars like 3 times a day and they're supposed to fade. But the thing is that I don't like the idea of these fading. See, I deal with baby cut syndrome, which is basically where you think you aren't harming yourself good enough and you need to like hurt yourself worse. And it tends to make me feel like I just don't want the scars to go away and I just want them forever. But like, I'm not proud of them, I just don't want them to be gone forever. And them fading also feels like I'm not valid enough as a person. So like sometimes I go like a month or 2 without self-harming and then they start fading. But if I keep that streak going and eventually get better and like tell my story, would I be valid? I feel like I wouldn't be because the scars would be gone. It's also hard because my family doesn't know that I deal with this, or like it's not like I can talk to anybody about it because my mother's entirely absent. Like I haven't seen her since 2015, and my dad is not emotionally available. When I first told him I was depressed, I was grounded, and usually when he grounds my little sister and I, he ends up like ungrounding us sooner than he said he would. But this was actually the first time he had ever stuck to his word. But I do have an aunt that is trying to be a mother figure for my sister and I, but I feel like I can't tell her about my problems because she might accidentally tell my dad. I could tell her because she deals with her schizophrenic son who deals with self-harm and suicide. I just have this conscious fear of something happening. I also believe that I could be bipolar, but I'm not diagnosed. Don't take my word for it. My aunt says that I probably am, and my father, who is actually bipolar himself, said that it's possible. I probably am though because I have erratic ups and downs that can last weeks or maybe even months. Like I can be completely depressed for weeks and then I'll just randomly be fine again. But I honestly don't really know because nothing makes sense anymore. I also have really bad social anxiety where I have a fear of simple things such as eye contact and for those of you who don't know, I write down a script for all of my videos, which is why sometimes I sound like I'm really unenthusiastic or like I'm really bored, but I have to read off of a notepad like I am right now. I also tend to talk really fast because I have anxiety and like I'm always like really nervous and anxious, and I've been having panic attacks for almost all day every day for this past week because I literally think that I'm dying. I feel like I'm about to die, but I'm not because it's just my anxiety. But in a way, like this sounds like hypochondria, but I don't think I am a hypochondriac. For those of you who don't know what hypochondria is, it is an anxiety disorder that makes people feel like they could be dying from an undiagnosed medical condition. Some YouTubers such as Wilbur Sut deals with this anxiety disorder. But like I said, my dad is not a good person to talk to about this stuff, but he deals with low self-esteem himself, but he believes that if he makes fun of his own children, then they'll grow up to not care about what others think, even though he's doing the exact opposite. Like, he's made a joke saying that I have low self-esteem, and he knows that I do, but he just doesn't really care. In fact, he doesn't really care about anything. He tends to only care about himself, and he tries to be in control of everything. Like, I'm not allowed to use permanent hair dye because he just wants to be in control of something. He will try to take over whatever he can and try to control everything. He also complains to everyone, and because he's so incredibly busy, of course, he also talks so much crap about my mom, it's insane. I also kind of learned to hate myself because my aunts have a problem about complaining about people when those people can actually hear them. Like, they're not very good at whispering, and they tend to be very loud. They'll be like, hey, did you know that she uses detangler in the morning? And like, it's stupid and I hate it. My aunt that is like a mother figure is the one that's like super loud and like she's always yelling and tends to say her thoughts out loud, which is not always great because it's like she complains about everyone to their own face. She is a recovering drug addict and is now like devoting her time, like the rest of her life, to take care of my grandpa that deals with dementia and Parkinson's. So because he doesn't remember anything and is not capable of walking by himself, and he tends to get very mean and physical towards my aunt, and so she does not get a lot of sleep anymore, and she's like entirely sleep deprived, and she tends to be in a lot of physical pain because he gets physical with her. But if I have any sort of mental or physical pain, like I could just be like, oh, you know, like my arm really hurts today, and she'd be like, oh, well, get over it. Even though she says that I can tell her anything, but she just does not seem to care and just says to get over it. But while I'm here, I also want to talk about the album I was planning on making and releasing. For those of you who don't know, I wanted to make an album based on my mental health. But I'm now scared too because, we all know Gabby Hanna. If you don't, then woo, good for you. But she releases music and poetry based off of mental health. But people make fun of it and mock her, and I'm scared people are going to do that with my music. I don't want my music to be ridiculed and mocked because that's not what it's for. I also don't want people to think that I'm trying to be a knockoff Lil Brissa because I love him so much and he inspires me a lot. I listen to his album Your City Gave Me Asthma every day and it inspired me to make music. But I'm scared that I will be cancelled for being too similar to Wilbur, or that I will be mocked because haha, funny mental health, haha, make fun of me Twitter. But anyways, thank you so much for watching and listening to this video. Feel free to give your own thoughts and opinions in the comments, and remember that you're loved, and I love you all so much, and I want to say thank you for being here. Have a lovely day or night. Bye!